Boner farts.
Oh god damn it.
That is all.
Doo-doo fart. Oh my god, that one fucking Half-Life VR animated. It's just like, can I get a motherfucking, burger? Sir, we're at a Starbucks. You can get a panini. Do I look like I know what a panini is?
All right, let's go. I've done my story.
That was unexpected, and I don't want to explain how that ties in with last week's session. Not one bit.
We take this to our graves.
Forever.
We did the blood pack,
Everyone
right?
watching, welcome back to Sad Space Furries. I'm sorry you had to bear witness that continuation of last week, but we're going to kick things off right back where we are. We are currently located at the Black Site, a hidden location that was hidden on the south side of Verces. As you can see by several of the, I guess it'd be like purple, pinkish, purplish, clear words on some of the locations. We've checked some of them out, and the room that the party is currently located is a security office with access to cameras that have been hiddenly placed in each view. In just a few seconds, this is going to be updated with the description text of every room. And if our players want to pry for a bit more information, we'll continue from that point. All right, so every room that had description text has now been updated. If there's any rooms in particular that you want to take a further look at, let me know, and I can kind of describe what it is. It doesn't have flavor text, so I'd have to look at the text and tell you. Additionally, the father says black site is editable by anyone. So if something does happen, or if you want to like, hey, just remember this is here, this is that, you can do that also. For this session, Kalani's going to be with the party, but I'm going to put a logo just to remind me that I'm going to be doing Kalani's actions. And I forgot everyone can still move the piece. One of these days I'll actually.
We are all Kalani now.
No spoiler, but I believe this has something to do with Ragnarok. Okay, so we are going to continue from where we last left off. You've dealt with the threats currently located in the security office, the two surveillance enemies that happen to like the amount of pain that you was giving them, to kind of refresh what happened last session. I don't want to go into any more detail other than that, because I feel that session had its moment for that. But you have access to all of the cameras. There is a security room that you're located on now, and you have access to all the cameras on the first floor and on the second floor. On that file, I didn't place all of the second floor information just yet, because there's, if you take the full rest, I mentioned last week on the second map, which I should be able to show you now, in location E19, there was a individual that looked to be going like through some papers and things like that. He looked to be as if he's in a rush, looking for something, trying to find something. If you decide to take the full rest without going down there, the things on level 2 potentially can change. So I held back some of the information for that currently, but if you want to see at the current second what's going on, I will gladly read it to you. And this is where I pass the floor to you. Doors closed, every party member's inside. Uh, Kalani's just on a standby mode right now, and we kick things off now.
I'm down. I'm doing pretty hunky dory.
Is this after we've taken the rest or not?
I'm gonna say that this is all like the doors closed, the party's inside. At this point, Captain Snow's already hacked into the computers, and anyone who's looking at the screen can see the one individual. So the rest hasn't happened yet. This is just kind of that starting point, or I'm sorry, the following up point after combat ended. So now the choice is all up to you.
Okay, then I need to adjust my sheet then. Yeah, Toner, he looks actually pretty beat up.
Oh dang.
So he'd be like, I need a bit of a breather, but if y'all think you'll be all right, then y'all can go on without me, and I'll catch up.
Oh, that's...
I'm just laying on the floor.
We ain't doing Scooby-Doo. We're not splitting up.
As that elevator ride's 10 minutes down, I don't think it's good for me to go anywhere right now. Not to mention I've got this fucking masochistic AI in my fucking armor now.
Oh yeah. On the topic of the armor, I do actually, if we are taking a rest, I will need you to make a check.
Well, I guess we should decide if we're taking a rest or not.
We did level up the other day, right?
No.
You are still currently level 10,
Okay.
but once this whole dungeon is completed, that will be the next level up point.
Okay.
So
So for the people who aren't, running on hit points, are we staying or are we going?
I'll be happy to stay with y'all.
they look slightly armored. The scientist doesn't resemble the same scientist clothes of the ones that you and a toner like slash through viciously at that. This one looks to be like slightly armored in a way. Looks to be more of like a high class businessman in the way that he's dressed. And besides going through papers, you can see him tinkering with little bits of equipment.
What's going on? So you, Kalani, and okay, and okay. I'll be okay. You go.
On the topic of traps, make sure y'all steal your minds. They got some weird mind screwery thing that I walked into. Uh, there's some evil in this place, and
Evil things happening at a black site. Who could have guessed?
it showed me and made me experience all the pain and suffering of all the victims here all at once. And well, if it wasn't for my experience in the war, if already being used to that kind of thing, it probably would have just completely melted a lesser person's brain. So be careful.
Aye, 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 Captain.
Turns out it's Bruce Banner.
Oh God. Oh God.
You wouldn't like me when I'm upset.
You won't like me when I'm uncomfortable.
And just take a quick 5 seconds. Captain Snow, when you walked into the room and that hologram showed up of the person saying, instead of prying for information, you could just ask. It's the same individual that did that. This is also, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to give too much away.
I should
Okay.
do that roll, I guess. So it's non-confirmed resting.
Yeah, let's do that roll right now. Let me just switch to the tab. All right.
What kind of roll is it?
All right. I need you to make a roll saving throw.
29.
Okay.
Fails
So
by one.
as you just have this armor still attuned to you, Lenny begins to speak to you again. The interface that's been speaking to you that says, "Oh, your body seems to endure these small bits of pain that I give it. How are you doing that?"
Thick skin.
I see. Well, this is the first of your type for this experimental suit. So I'm sure I will learn properly how you function.
Can't wait, buddy.
Who are you talking to, Gunner?
They can all hear this, can't they?
Yeah, this can be heard.
And I point to I guess there's like a CPU unit probably somewhere on the back of the
Oh,
armor.
I can hear the. Can I hear the AI?
Yeah, it's pretty
Everyone
much
in
like
the
an
room,
announcement.
Gunner hears.
Oh, I'm like, Gunner, do you need any help with that?
I don't think the help I need with this is in your expertise. If you understand what I mean. Are you some sort of secret hacker that I don't know about?
Oh. According to how I used to be, not anymore.
Do you know where the AI is installed on that thing? I could try stabbing it, see if that shuts it up.
No, we don't need to destroy it. It's fine. It just needs a little tweaking.
Is it just an AI, or is there something magical? Can I try a mysticism check to see if there's like anything magical about it?
You can try, I guess. That's why I told you to do it, but you just want to get the scientist. I know. I understand the logic. I'm messing with you.
Wisdom.
Just be glad I'm a very willful person.
I don't know why it doesn't.
What was it? 22. Oh Jesus! What the?
Oh. It doesn't. The notification doesn't pop up. Okay.
I see a 22 for your first check.
That'll actually be a 25
Okay.
because for some reason it doesn't add my wisdom modifier.
With a 25, you just try to pick up any magical influences on this suit of armor, and everything that you're picking up isn't giving a magical reading on it. Everything, I should say everything that's attached or included with this suit of armor all comes down to the graphene steel that it's made out of, and the 3 out of the 4 attachments that are placed, or I'm sorry, 3 out of the 4 upgrade slots that are placed onto it. Each one of those being like a technological kind of item, not a magical kind of item.
Well, this is definitely fancy.
So yeah, very like Iron Man esque. You're trying to pick out bits of magic, and it's like, no, this is just steel and and intelligence put into this thing.
Yeah, you're right. I can't really do anything, but it was worth a shot.
It was.
Yeah.
It gets that out the way for later down the session.
Yeah. Well, now we know it definitely is just a sort of computers thing that we'll
Well,
deal with.
that should clear at least some worries.
I mean, as long as this thing ain't suddenly growing more needles to poke into me, I think I'll be fine.
There is a very solid chance that it is, but we won't think about that.
So I have a question. While all this is happening to Gunner, who's looking at the computers right now?
I'm sorry?
Who's looking at the computers?
Who's looking at the computers? Ooh.
Okay, good enough.
Oops.
Snow and Kalani, make a perception check.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it worked out perfectly how I wanted it to.
Don't worry, you helped the DM.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wanted to see if my friend was okay.
Okay. With a 19 plus 19, a 38 total. You do a straight shot over towards the lift. As you pass, what area is that? As you pass area E3, all of the bodies that still look plugged into the computers, none of them seem to move from their station, besides the ones that you've done combat with prior. All 3 of you head over towards the lift, and you pull the lever, and the lift begins to go downwards. Before I go any further, I do want the others who are in room E11 to make a perception check.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. That makes it 15.
12.
God, I'm so shit at math. Okay, so that's 15 plus the 20, so 35.
16. Ooh, why is my hand cramping up?
Wake
What
and
was it?
cramp!
What was it for Gunner?
35.
35 total. Okay. So Gunner, you have all this well, you have both a toner and Havoc looking towards you, offering different suggestions and stuff. And the security cameras that are set, when Captain Snow was there, Captain Snow kept it set where instead of it flickering from like channel to channel, it just focused on the one screen that was in front of you. After Captain Snow stepped away, it went back into like that surveillance mode of like checking these 4 cameras at a time for 5 seconds, checking these 4 cameras at a time for 5 seconds. When it gets back to the room that you saw that Snow was like surveillancing and saying, we need to go here, it looks like the individual is just about to leave. Now, at this point, you've been looking at your armor. This conversation's been happening, so a bit of time has passed. You would suspect that Snow and Kalani are probably taking the lift down. If they were to walk towards the lift and everything went smooth, you would expect that's happening right now. You look into the room and the person is gone.
All right, then I'm going to relay that over to Snow through the comms, as long as nothing's messing with those.
You do so. I'm just going to the other mapping and copy.
No, I just want to be sure because like Black Site, God only knows what's gonna happen. It's like suddenly you get static. It's like fuck.
You know, that's a great idea.
Too bad it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. But that was a good idea. I wish I thought it out. But yeah, you're able to send them a message. But the lift will not stop in between the first floor and the second floor. So, what message do you want to send to them that they will see before they arrive to the second floor?
Guy in room has left. He may be ready to get on an elevator. Don't know, but he's not there anymore. No, this is Gunner. Who's Roger?
Of course I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Kalani's just at the ready. Yeah, Kalani's at the ready. It looks like Kalani's just ready to cast a spell if something was to happen. Battle ready Kalani. There we go. As the platform lands towards the bottom, I need you to give me a perception check. Okay, I just have to see one thing. On the second floor. Okay. I'm gonna go with the lighting in the room because the first floor and the second floor have very similar lighting. Dull yellow cylindrical light fixtures run along the walls of most corridors and rooms in the complex, resulting in dim light in most areas. When you arrive onto this bottom platform, let me take a look. You do see directly in front of you is a door that's placed. You would have been able to see a camera in the hallway, and you would have been able to see that this is the same exact door, E19, that the individual was going through files and tinkering through stuff with. But when you go to take a look at it, it appears to look closed. And right where the card slot would be, it looks to be like a red light underneath of it. And then to the right of you, yeah, you would at this current moment you would just see a hallway. Yeah, there's cameras at E18.
And was there anything in there?
This room in itself, I can read a bit of it. It's a room filled with rows of mundane office cubicles occupied by both human and Verthani employees. Some of them have naked flesh plastered with electrodes coming out of them, wires attached to the computers in front of them. Others seem to be unconscious or cutting at their own flesh with blades or flagellate themselves with bundled network cables.
Jesus.
There's more to the room, but I think that's description wise, I think that's enough. But if you want to take another look, you can see how that madness is pursuing. They're like windows to glance inside. Let me see. Okay. Give me a perception check.
Or no.
Okay.
So
Alrighty. With a wow, that's actually really good for what I see in the book. Okay. I'm gonna start first by the windows. The two things that you see there are two circular, transparent aluminum windows providing a viewpoint into room E18. Where, as I mentioned, you see several of the employees going through like a state of madness and chaos. Some enjoying the thrill of the pain that's being brought to them, such as the network cables or the electrodes coming through the computers. But it is real easy for Twitch to also pick up like a chorus of screams filling this room, and some of it even projecting loud enough to be heard past the windows as several others um, s- insert these blades into their flesh, and some of them are putting these chips, the same, it looks almost the same exact chip that you picked up from the office that you saw on Absalon Station, putting these chips into the others that don't seem to be enjoying themselves, and they slowly turn. Um, the Let me see. The Some of the employees also look to have several like bits of augmentation on them, but they're using them in oddly inappropriate ways for me to discuss on this channel. Not that you see, just a very odd like computer harem situation going on. I think that's the best way to describe what's going on. Okay.
and head back.
Okay. That's all taken care of. You return back to your party. You're right back at the security cameras. If you want to take another look, feel free to do so. Other than that,
Yeah. Let's get this see if we can change this masochistic
N-
sort of nature he's
Uh,
talking about doing more pain.
Wait.
Alright. Do I do
Gun-
so?
Gunnar, when did you turn into Patrick Warburton?
It's messing with my vocal cords. Kill me! I don't want to be Patrick. There's no saving me.
Whoa! Freaking
No.
Hill.
Am I able to take off the armor?
yeah, you're able to take off the armor. That
Alright,
was what the
cool.
will save was for.
I just wanted to be sure.
You pass with flying colors.
Nice.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Deal.
Which
Yeah,
was
it was a success.
okay. Yeah, I don't know what your computer's is. It's like what, a 22 or something. There we go.
It was a success. I talked in the background about that, but now that you're able to take off your armor, you do see that on the inside part of the armor, the part that would kind of adjust to your body size, that is where the 3 of the 4 upgrade slots is placed. One of them being the AI personality. With the computer's check, you see Captain Snow just kind of almost kind of like circuitry wise go through the interface and kind of begin to reprogram it. In doing so, um, the AI would have stuck to you like an cursed item if that was not reprogrammed. So by removing the curse effect of it and the wearer's pain dependency, she removes a morale bonus that you get from scoring a critical hit that would have stacked.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else still sticks. The plus 14 armor bonus to EAC and KAC, the max dex of plus 8, and the no armor check penalty still applies.
Nice. I mean, sucks to lose it, but in the long run, it's probably for the better.
I couldn't even mention to you or to the party what it was, but there was another part besides the AI telling the vital signs and information about being diseased, poisoned, or exposed to radiation. The bad effect was, however, when you wear this armor, you become addicted to pain, and if you go more than 4 hours without taking damage, you gain the fatigued and sickened condition until the next time you take damage. You also get a plus 1 morale bonus to attack rolls for 1 round after you score a critical hit on a significant foe. So that last part just got removed.
Okay, that's good. I don't. There's so much time that I'm wearing the armor
Yeah,
during
that is
downtime that it would happen almost every time.
that is something Lenny would not have told you. And
Mhm.
if we would have gotten into a situation where like, yeah, I was untouched. Well, that sucks.
That's a disappointment.
Yeah. So yeah, now you have a good armor.
Nice.
And fun if
Oh,
this
now this just feels weird. Before it felt like I was just sort of like in a locker room. Now I'm like, now I'm wearing. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm shaped just to your body type. I don't know how to feel about this.
You need a lifeguard in this pool.
This
This
isn't a
isn't a
pool. This is
pool,
a
it's a
bathtub.
Job.
Also, you're my armor. We're gonna have to talk about this later.
Hey, big guy. No.
We're gonna have to talk about this later. Don't worry, I have the stat block up.
Gotcha, cool. All right. Just want to make sure it was in writing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be switching over to putting Gunner into the roll 20 on my free time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was all in writing, that's all.
Yeah, I got it right here, so it's no problem.
Since
Hmm
since you've
So first,
seen the armor, you know more on it. I feel like sharing the knowledge with everyone else, like, oh yeah, this is a thing now.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure it wasn't just for me, since I'm wearing it.
Okay. Are we taking a long rest here? I know
No,
I'm sorry, rest, short rest.
yeah, just a short rest, 10 minutes.
In that time, I know it was mentioned that Snow's gonna go looking back into the cameras.
Yeah, well,
I'm just updating the handout that everyone should be able to read, and I'm gonna add everything on the second floor. Since that part played out now.
Turns out she's just putting different personalities in each one of our pieces of armor or equipment, just so that when she dies, we can just put her into an android. I'm always going to tell on you. Oh God, it's like a little sister.
What if Snow took the chip that Havoc has in her head? I don't know if it's it.
Yeah, and I had it for a good while. Just kind of forgot it was in my pocket.
Oh, it's just my dead friend in my pocket. Oh shit.
It was
Covered in
sentimental.
lint.
Oh man, it got into my barbecue sauce. But so we go on.
Jubilee. No. What's it called? Havoc kind of pats Snow on the arm, just like, hey, put me in his armor.
Please don't. This is already weird enough. Still no heat signature.
But not rotting. So we'll take it.
Alright, we rest for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10-minute rest happens. I updated the handout, and I think I put it to show to all players. So you should see a second yellow thing saying second floor. As I mentioned, E7 was the like observation into E18 where all that chaos is going. E19 should be filled out with the man that was in this room, what the room looks like now, and then E20 is a maintenance room, but I'll get to that once you go through E19. Yeah, that's deciding if you go there. There is a third floor, but the lighting for the third floor is, I believe, just dark. Let me see. Areas beyond E21 are in total darkness. So anything on the third floor and beyond is something I'm going to say you cannot see through the security cameras. Everything looks the same. Not much looks like it has changed.
What was on the second floor?
Mmm.
Excuse me for a second. I go into the corner. Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm just taking my tab to the third floor real quick. Everyone's going.
Mm-hmm. I got my sleepies.
So is it dim light or dark light?
For the floor that you're on.
For where we're going.
The floor where you're going, anything past E20 is going to be in total darkness. Yeah, that's what the module's saying. Areas beyond E21 are in total darkness.
Guess I'm going to hearing.
And I'm glad I have that infrared eye
Think I have dark
and a
vision.
flashlight.
I used to have infrared sensors, but now with the new armor, I had to choose that or my adaptive energy shield, and I just thought probably the adaptive energy shield. Yeah, it's on me.
Forget, do Barcelona have dark vision?
What's what I'm saying? The fourth slot is the adaptive shield. But I do have, what does this thing have again? targeting computer, Mark II thermal capacitor, and a force pack. So I can also fly.
Which makes for an interesting sniper.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. I do have dark vision. 60-foot dark vision.
I have low light vision.
Ha! Nerd! Oh,
I
no,
also have
no.
a flashlight.
Actually, I think my eyes. No, my eyes don't have anything. They're just regular eyes.
I'm just doing
Huh. Imagine having to use your nose, not your ears.
follow your nose. wherever it goes.
That's even worse. Bam, 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 bam. It's fine. I've taught you Lajakan code. I can just use my hands.
Sassy, sass.
You can't see my lips. I do Morse code with my eyes. There you go.
I leave all
works.
of you unattended for a little bit while I place your pieces and start revealing what's on the next map. What am I coming back to?
That has a rocket launcher.
Oh boy.
Quick second. Someone actually just rang my doorbell and I don't know who it is. I'll be right back.
All right.
Is that Havoc? She's got a rocket launcher.
I'm gonna take this moment to sleep.
Take this moment to play with my hair because I can't stop doing it.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Nice. It was almost like he was here. Okay. Let me go back to the tab. Did I switch all of you over yet? All right, let's do that now. So I didn't have everyone placed where they were, but I'm assuming you was on a straight shot over to the lift and then just taking the lift back down.
Mm.
Okay, let me
unless we have to.
Okay, so you take it down to the third platform. As the platform reaches the bottom, I need a perception check from everyone.
29.
12. Again.
12.
Wow. Okay. Um. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's going to count for Kalani. All right. As the lift reaches towards the bottom, you can feel each level down that you go on the lift, you can just feel it getting colder and colder. Just it was already cold when you landed, snow kind of on the surface of the structure, but the temperature begins to fall. With the gear and equipment that you have on, you don't feel like it's gonna like hinder you in movement, but with it being cold and it being total darkness that surrounds you, you just notice you and your party's senses are slightly heightened. Um,
Excuse
with
me,
the,
I have a plus 15 to resistance to cold.
the
I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Seems perfectly fine in
just like, you guys feel something?
here. Man, what a nice summer day. My resistance for cold? Because one, the Mark II thing, the Mark II, what is it called? It's a Mark II thermal capacitor, which gives me a plus 10, and then my natural plus 5.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Who has dark vision? Just so I can put a reminder for myself.
I
I'm currently going off blind sight.
How far is your dark vision go for Havoc?
60 feet.
Yeah,
Holy
30 feet for
Jesus. I put an
Steven.
aura on Havoc so I can see how far 60 feet is, and it is like
She's good.
bigger than
It's
this whole area.
fine.
So all right,
Thanks
Havoc,
to
you could just see you could see this whole like dungeon from where you, well, not the whole dungeon, but every hallway that you go down, you'll be able to kind of get a glimpse at what's going on, where everyone else is more or less relying on sight. Going with the perception checks, however, you just see directly in front of you like 8 what looks to be steel doors, but these steel doors that you're looking at don't look like they open like a typical door where you just kind of pull the lever and it goes and like it swings open. This kind of door looks like it's a steel door that would raise.
Hmm.
Directly in front of you, a miasmic darkness hangs heavy in the wide corridor, and murky gray motes drift through the air. Steel doors yawn open on either side of the hallway, and a heap of flesh and bone, savage beyond recognition, sprawls on the floor to the east. That
Yeah,
is
you guys
what
should
you
be glad you can't see right now.
Is it making noise? Because then I don't see it at all.
So I'm gonna go with the perception check that you heard. You can hear the sound of several things on this floor. These things sound. I gotta make sure to see if they're silent or not. Quick second. 'Cause- page 59. These things are Okay, yeah. So you do hear these things. These things that you hear kind of growl, similar to like how a dog would growl if an intruder was in their area.
Okay.
With both of your perception, you're picking up at least 3 to 4, and they sound like they could be anywhere in this hallways. One of them in particular sounds like it's in one of the doors, and I'm gonna place that one on the map.
Now, does that change for me if my range is 60 feet?
Nope, you're still hearing it. It sounds like it could be coming from where's the one tool? There's from where you are, which is right here.
Hmm. I'm just like 5 feet farther than where
It, it sounds like it would be coming from here. Like one of the sources of ground is coming from here, and the other are coming from either the left or the right side of this hallway. Where it's a darkened area, you can't see it, but as one growls, that kind of echoes out, and you can hear it echoing down these hallways.
Okay.
So there's at least 3 or 4 of them, but one is right on this square right here. I'm gonna drag a token out for it. Yeah, I didn't place it in a formation because fitting technically 6 squares on that 4 would have been a bit difficult. I guess technically 5 if you armor up, but I felt like it would have been a little bit hard to maneuver. Oh, you got 20-foot cone in front of you. So let me add that here.
Yeah, because the flashlight moves it up one vision level, so it'd go from darkness to dim, and Vesk have dim light vision. Most likely.
I'm going to move Kalani towards the back as Kalani would not be at the front whatsoever.
I will be in the middle.
Since
Also, do you remember, Jen, do you remember what the eye was that she put in a toner? Okay, but it's not going to be on like the cybernetics list. Okay.
okay, which direction? Okay. Just to see if you critically fail or not, I'm going to count it as like a grenade throw. Just to see if you roll a 1, basically. Because I think that'd be funny. Just throwing it into the dark and nothing happens. Was there a bad news to that? Oh. So for all the party members that isn't either Havoc or a Toner, you just kind of just grab some food and just throw it into the darkness. Um, it just gets out of your like line of sight. And both Havoc and both Havoc and a Toner see as it kind of does like 2 skips, and it'll land right on. Let me draw a shape. It'll land right on this square. So it'll land actually like right there, and it'll get the attention of these 3. I'm gonna say though, immediately after they hear it, they're gonna go to this area and make a perception check. But since you're doing this, I'm gonna count this as a surprise round. for the party. It's difficult because of seeing. So, and one other piece of information. Since both Havoc and a Toner can at least see that one, the creature that you see in front of you looks to be a ferocious hound of some sort, but it doesn't appear to have like a physical body. You see these like a smoke cloud kind of perspirating.
No.
Um, let me see. These creatures have yeah, they look to be like a local, or I'm sorry, like a predatory beast. But they look to have like a shadow to them. Um, Out of character, they are shadow mastiffs. Um, yeah, yeah. These creatures have little in common with actual canines except for their appearance. So they look to appear ferocious, and they begin to gnaw onto this food. This sound is audible and heard to the party, making the party alert that there is an enemy because the other members didn't get past 20 for their perception. So now they are alert that something's up. Yeah. At least because it's going to be 20 feet from a toner's position. So that's going to be the one that's right in front of the can.
So I'm
Have
gonna
them
roll
step
the-
forward. $25 does hit.
I mean, yeah, I'll do it.
I would. Okay.
So we're just smacking these things.
They're shadow dogs. What else we gonna do?
I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save my thing.
Gonna do full attack. Can we do a full attack when it's a surprise round?
Not for the surprise. I'm just gonna say
Okay.
like it's just gonna be a regular attack.
That's
But
fine.
the 22 is jotted and
So
on
it's
the
deadly aim, -2, negated by the bipod. Makes it just that. Oh yeah, that's probably gonna hit. It's 19 plus 17. So I think that hits, right?
Yep.
That's your
Okay. Let's
Unless I can't math and everyone else can math.
I mean, it's at least above a 30. So there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, you need to get lower than the AC.
Ah,
No, I'm kidding.
Darn it, it's Thaco.
Ah, there it is. Okay, so that was with deadly aim, so half that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 25, 29. Yes, that's everything. 29 points of damage.
Jot it down. Is that it?
Plus, it's magic.
I did a stellar rush, but I probably missed because I got a 2 on the die for a total of 17.
Believe it or not, you caught this creature flat-footed, and because it didn't perceive you, you connect.
Woo!
Ooh, you're
Wow.
about to spank whatever this is.
That was a 2 on the dice. So that's 28 slashing. And since we did a surprise, I said a toner's not attuned at the moment, so that's why it's only a plus 18 instead of his usual plus 20.
Mm.
How does the kill look?
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
I guess like they shoot and he dashes at like the same time, and that like all 3 hits hit at the same time because of like his stellar rush. So it's just like
Poor boy, poor baby.
Just wanted some food.
It was hungry.
Well, don't worry, I gave it its water.
Oh,
You know, it's an icicle form.
it's like
Oh.
Snow's shot goes over Toner's left shoulder, Gunner's shot goes over Toner's right shoulder, and he's like in the middle, and they all just connect at the same time.
Death.
Well done. And with that, we are going to be in initiative. They all are looking directly at Toner. Toner, 1, stepping forward without stealth, and 2, a Toner giving this bright light to these dogs that were all hidden in complete darkness. They are not happy with it. So I'm going to just take everything off real quick because I leave them on and then everyone's like, oh, I don't see anything. So this is clear. Okay, everyone should be up. And let's take a look. Havoc got a 17.0.
Hmm.
That's for Kalani.
Gunner?
Okay.
Let's see.
20. 20 for initiative.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was low for me. That was only a 10.
I got way so.
Yeah, no. Get it for initiative.
This makes me sad because even with a 20 on initiative, I still don't go first. They have a +2 modifier for Dex for initiative.
Oh, do they?
So 15. Yeah. I'll do that in a second. Enemies are placed. Blake, do you see the red R that's on your character, right? For the 20 feet?
Yeah, I see the cube.
I'm guessing no one else sees it though, because that's just
Nope.
Well, I can see 60 feet, so
Yeah, you're looking at both level 2 and level 3 with yours. Like you're up to E17 with your aura. Where you're
Yeah,
at.
and I don't know if you can do cones in Roll20, but for me it's specifically a cone, not a cube. So just be in like the direction I'm facing.
But wait, I thought we're in level 3, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to make it a. I'll just ask where you have the light facing, and I'll keep it that way. Since looking into it will kill time that I don't have right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can just turn.
Yeah, just rotate the image so that a toner's head is facing the direction that he is.
Okay.
We do just rotate the image.
Okay, so yeah, with a toner placed directly there, you do see a small stair, like a small I don't want to say 5 foot, but you see like 3 stairs that raise up to another door above you, and the hallway that goes to the left and to the right splitting into like another coved off area and another hallway. So I'll say you're able to see that. The other 2 dogs in particular you don't see, but they also it'll be known when they go. I'll put it that way. A toner is the first one up though. So whenever you are ready.
All right. I currently can't see anything on the map.
There's nothing there?
It's
Oh, right,
yeah,
right,
it's
right, right,
stopping
right,
for me
right,
right here. Yeah.
Got you. That is what everyone meant. All right, I'm just going to reveal the rest of the area because otherwise I'm going to forget.
Yeah, and we'll just make sure not to metagame.
That is what you didn't see before.
Okay. So first up, a toner will photon attune 1 point, and then he will stellar rush towards this one to hit it with his sword. And that's an 18 to hit.
Okay, it connects.
Wow. Okay.
These ones are also flat-footed because I have been starting the round.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was a 3 on the die this time.
Yeah, they're because they haven't acted. They have the -2 to the ACs. So this is even for those low rolls, you're still putting in that damage.
All right, so that's 27 slashing damage, and then he will use his movement to activate his dark matter ability to give him a tiny bit extra bit of damage resistance.
One more time for the damage.
27 damage.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is low. Okay. A toner charges directly into action. One of these beasts directly in front of your sight. One of these canines, I should say, directly in front of your sight. You can hear the sounds of the other two. But with that flashlight being in a cone, they are out of your line of sight currently. Anything else?
That's my turn.
Okay, so I rolled a separate initiative for each one. So the one at the top is going to go first. He's going to go directly to here. And you see that this creature just tries to be out of your line of sight with the flashlight as it goes to strike at you with a bite. That's going to be a all right, D20 is going to be a 30 total.
That hits exactly.
Okay, so then the damage is going to be. I feel like this isn't going to damage you that much, but we'll see. You take 16 points of piercing and cold damage. And okay, no, that didn't pass. Yeah, it hits you for 16 points of piercing and cold damage, and that's it.
How does that work in terms of damage reduction?
It's always half each one. Or at least from my memory, when it comes to damage of two types, it's half and half. So half of it can be reduced if it's a physical thing, and half of it can be reduced if it's like an elemental thing.
Okay. Yeah, because I currently have 18 damage resistance to physical. So I was wondering like how that works since it was both cold and
So the cold would go direct; it wouldn't be impeded, but the physical piercing would be reduced down to 1.
okay. So total of 9 damage then.
Total of 9. Yep.
Also, it will take 2d6 electric damage from my electrostatic shield. So it takes 8 electric damage.
That adds up. So it takes a bite it takes a bite at you, and again, stressing that this floor just feels colder than the two floors prior. It chomps onto you like icicles with like sharpened fangs on them, and as it bites into you, it just gnaws at it like it's fresh food for this creature. They do look like they've been starved here for quite some time. That's going to end the turn of that one. Gunner's up.
All right. Can I get a shot on this one from where I am?
The one directly in front of a toner? Yes.
Mhm. Okay, so full attack then. Let's see. Full attack plus deadly aim. -4. This is, sorry, let's math again. I'm pretty sure it's -3. Yeah, because full attack is 3. So -2. Blah, blah, blah. So -3. That was going to miss. And that was going to miss. That was a 2 and a 4.
What was the total?
Let's see. With a 2, -3 was -1. Would have been 16. The other one would have been 18.
And it goes against which armor class?
EAC.
The 18 hits.
Oh, wow. These guys do not have armor or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 hits. It's half cold, half piercing. Let me roll this damage. 4, 5, 6, 9, 9, 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 10, 28. 28 plus 4, 32 damage.
Yikes.
Half.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's also magical. I don't know if these things have resistance to things, but it's magical and the effects for that.
Both Atona's attacking your attack seem to go through in full effect.
All right. And that's my turn.
Havoc.
Okay, so what I want to do is screw it. I will cast sorry. Please. Alrighty, so I don't understand this. because I'm looking at Puncture Veil. It says you grasp onto a space-time filled with microscopic needles and use them to pierce into your reality. One creature takes 1d4 piercing damage and gains bleeding 1 for 3 rounds. You can cast this spell as a full action. If you do, you have 2 options. You can target 2 creatures within 20 feet of each other with the effect described above, or target only 1 creature who takes 2d4 piercing damage and gains bleeding 2 for 3 rounds. But it doesn't say whether or not I make a ranged spell attack or whether they make a save. There's no saving throw, and it doesn't say. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the spell. It looks like the spell happens. This spell does have what is called like a spell resistance, but these creatures don't have that. They're not. The spell caster type where they could resist an effect like this. So yeah, that's just gonna connect.
Oh,
It's
that just hits.
It's just gonna be a if you target 1 or 2 creatures with it, and if you're gonna have it a full action or a normal action.
I'll do a full action and target 2 of them. Well, actually, I'll just target. I can't see the other one, so I'll just target this one. This boy. So that's. Huh? With the full effect. Full action. So that's 2d4. And they get bleeding 2 for 3 rounds. And a 5 piercing.
5 piercing. So let me do that now.
And bleeding 2 for 3 rounds. I don't know how useful that is.
Let me put the bleeding here because I will forget if I don't see it on the map somewhere. Okay, right? There's 2? Okay. And that was the one directly in front of a toner, right? Okay. So 5 and then bleeding 2. Okay. I'll play turn. And that was your full action, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then the mantle is going to be passed over to Captain Snow.
You got tape?
I'm going to say not yet. I'm going to say you tossing the food, the action prior would have been that turn. Like that would have been that turn and it would have been quick enough. If you want to attach it onto it, I feel like that comes down to like the gun. If the gun has a position for the flashlight. If you want to hold onto it and you're gonna do like a shot, I'll count it as like a swift action because I feel like like let me just get the shot line down. If you're gonna try to attach it, I'm gonna tie it into a move action because I don't want you to not be able to attack because of it. I'm gonna say like instead of moving closer or farther away from the target, you're spending your move action to align the flashlight in a spot where you can use it properly, and then you would have your. Okay. Okay. Free action, easy. Kalani, take this. Okay. Let me see. Move up to Twitch. You see the one directly in front of a toner. The other ones are trying to step out of the area, like the line of sight from the flashlight, trying to still blend into the darkened area. But I'll say you slightly see it, but they do have an ability, which is why I'm wording it that way. Okay. Yeah. Hit. That one is destroyed. Quick second. Did you already roll? Keep the roll. I'm gonna do something really quick. Give me a perception check for a toner, I guess. Yeah, give me a perception check for a toner, and I'm gonna attempt a stealth check. The enemy in front of.
15.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna say that the effect is still gonna work. So once the enemy is destroyed in front of a toner, I'm gonna say that a toner's trying to like give you an angle to shoot on the one that you're aiming for, but this one is still like stepping out of the line of sight out of it. The only reason I'm gonna word it that way is because these shadows have a creature or have a ability. I'm sorry, known as shadow blend. In any condition of illumination other than bright light, a shadow disappears into the shadows, giving it a concealment 50% miss chance. It can suspend or resume this ability as a swift action. So when it was taking that bite at a toner, it used a swift action to still kind of remain concealed. So it's just trying to like put up a fight with a toner and like a dog like hopping left, right out of the line of sight of the flashlight, and since the toner's right next to it, it's like I can't get a good visual. So I'm gonna count your attack roll, but I'm gonna say that it has concealment with a 50% miss chance. So roll those dice also. It was a 21 to hit. So the 21 would have connected if a form of a shadow version of the dog wasn't there. As the bullet goes into it, the shadow just kind of poofs. Yeah, not this time around. At least not for this round. I'm gonna give it one round, or else this is gonna be like a super easy encounter. I feel. You already took out two of the four before I got one hit. Okay, Kalani's gonna go. Is gonna use telekinetic projectile since that won't cost against spell slots. Oh, do you know that it's actually gonna hit? Oh yeah, actually, I'm sorry. That needs to happen. Kalani's also gonna have to move because I don't feel like character wise she can see either of them if they like happen to hug up on the wall. So do that. Roll a D100. Okay, it's gonna connect. So I'm gonna do that damage in a second. I'm gonna have this one go up, the one that's on the bottom part. He's gonna use the other ability that they have that I haven't used yet. He's gonna step right here, and he's able to see all of you. So as he does, he's going to give out this very large howl.
Oh goodness.
It sounds
That
like that.
makes Havoc sneeze.
Oh. Oh.
At
Poor
least on the
choice of
shadow
crew.
plane.
Very poor choice of crewmates then.
Okay. When this creature howls, every creature within 300-foot spread, except for evil outsiders, I don't know why it's so specific, but it is, must make a will save or become panicked for 1d4 rounds. This is sense dependent, mind affecting fear effect.
Ooh, that
You
means I
said
get an extra
will?
+2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Ooh, that's not my
21.
strongest one. That's a 21.
Oh, is that it for everybody? Is everybody getting this?
Yeah, everyone within 300 feet.
Okay.
Unless you're an evil outsider.
Yeah,
Is Gunner an evil outsider?
Not that I know of.
this is the reveal. Oh, I don't have to make that save.
Wait a minute. Now, there's something I need to look up. Shadow manifestations.
Okay, I think everyone passed. What did Havoc get for the
I have
will
a
save?
15.
I got a 21 because it's 15 plus 6.
A 15 matches. So
Okay, cool. Because if not, I had a backup.
Lady.
Yeah. So this large howl just happens. The only one who was with a sense of like, oh, what is Gunner, but then Gunner's like, well, this really your shit's weak. This is nothing to me. And
I
Gunner
have needles in my arm, bro.
yeah. So this how happens. I believe that's an action, so I can't attack. What
Motherfucker, I've got shadow coming out of my arm.
it's gonna fall with a. I'm not gonna say it'll howl and bite. I'll say it just does the howl. That's it. Next in initiative, is going to be a toner. While a toner's taking his turn, I'm gonna do the damage for Kalani with the projectile.
Alright, second point of attunement, and a toner is going to full attack this one.
Okay. Are you gonna aim the flashlight at that one just for concealment for the rest of the party? So whoever you're aimed at, I'm gonna say that they don't have to worry about that concealment trick. Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm just rolling super low today. Let's see. 17 for the first attack. Why do I keep just rolling 1 above each time? It's like first it was a 2, then it was a 3. Now this time it was a 5 and a 6.
Eventually, we're gonna get there.
True. So a 17 plus 8. Yeah, so 17 and 18 for the 2 attacks.
This is against which EAC?
Okay.
Okay. Yikes. Both of them now miss. These creatures now not being flat footed. You go to strike at it and they're aware. You have the flashlight aimed at it, they're a little bit angered, and it just kind of sidesteps out the way. Anything else?
That was a full action, so no.
Okay. I actually didn't get to do the telekinetic projectile, so I will do that now.
Yeah, I rolled well on everything else tonight except for my attack rolls.
I'll leave it to anyone. Someone want to roll d6 for me, and I'll just play out the enemy, and we'll keep it just like that. All right.
I got a 4. Yay, 4.
So I'm going to move her forward, so she would have been able to see. So on her next turn, because the creature went after her, on her next turn, she's gonna aim it at this one, but she is after you. So right now she's still kind of aimed at that one. All right, toner went. The one next to toner is gonna go. It's gonna full attack. I feel like both of these are gonna miss. It's gonna be a plus 11 to both of these. 25 is going to miss against you, and that's going to end the turn. Gunner. Gunner is up.
Okay. Guess I'll full attack again. Onto the boy I can see. First attack. Okay, well that's a 16 with deadly aim. That's a plus 15, so 31.
Which one are you going to aim for?
The bottom one.
So if you aim for the bottom one until a flashlight is put onto them, there's a chance that it'll miss with its shadow like that's surrounding it. It has a concealment, like a 50% chance of hitting or not hitting.
I guess that doesn't get messed with my gloom weapon.
What does the gloom weapon do again?
The gloom weapon is due to your connection to Shadow Plane, any weapon you wield is infused with planar power. Your melee and range attacks count as magic for the purposes of bypassing damage reduction and other situations such as attacking incorporeal creatures.
Good question. Yeah, because this is a corporeal creature.
There.
It just is made of shadow plane bits and pieces, but it is.
So's my shot, bruh. It's
corporeal.
all shadow, baby. All right. I mean, can't really get a shot on the other one right now, so we'll just do it. See what happens. But 16. I mean, I hit it one way or another, but you had to roll to see if it actually connects.
All right, it connects.
Okay, so first one connects. I'll do the damage.
You said you're doing a full attack.
Yeah, so this is just my first one.
The second one I rolled, I got a 48 on.
So is that a hit if I hit it?
The first one connects. It got 74. It got over the 50%. The second one I got a 48. So with the concealment, you're gonna hit like a bit of shadow. It's gonna shadow jutsu, and you hit a thing of dust.
Okay, so the first one is the only one that hits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that damage is gonna hurt.
That's 9. 15, 16, 17, 18, 28, 32. 32 points of damage.
Yeah, that hurt.
On your one hit, baby.
Okay. Havoc, you want to follow up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull out my trusty pistol that I haven't used in like 5 sessions, and I'm gonna shoot him. Well, I got a 10 attack bonus, so. Well, at least I didn't hit anybody else. That's a 2. That's a 12 total.
Whew.
Ooh.
Whew.
Yeah, that's gonna miss.
Goes right past Snow's ear, and she just glares at you.
Ah! I need to be careful with my spell slots, so I need to relearn how to use this. Well, I'm not that stupid.
I think it might be jammed. Let me look down the barrel, see what's up.
No. A toner. You're better than this.
Yeah. Even better. Just I'll just say you ask Kalani. Hey, Kalani, aim right. What? Okay. So you have access to both your hands. So Kalani does so because Kalani's going right after you. So I'll give that to you to make this go quicker. Okay, hits. Also hits. Like the KC is 19, which is why I felt bad because you had a 17 and an 18.
Stinky butt. I miss my dog. He's with my mom. She's in a hotel right now.
Okay, yeah, that one's lit up. It's done. You want to describe how it looks, or Kalani's holding? Okay. Kalani's just on this turn going to move towards the hallway and flash the light in its direction. So now it really has like nowhere to go where it can't be seen and do that smoke trick that Kalani has seen several party members miss because of it. I'm just gonna spend it doing that instead of going through the spell list. Toner's up.
So, should I do the smart thing or the fun thing?
Oh, this is your third round, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Do I go boom and hurt half a turn? Exactly. That's why I said, do I do the smart thing or do I do the fun thing? All right.
I'll do a
fine.
backflip. I'll be fine.
All right, so instead I'll do the stellar acceleration, the boring one that just gives everybody haste and lets me make a full attack as a standard action this turn.
So sorry that we're not gonna take damage.
And I think that actually hits everyone too, because I think everyone's within 30 feet of me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yay! First time everyone gets a benefit from this.
The toner just turned into Lucio. Speed boost. Just that meme.
So we got a 20 and a 24.
Both hit.
All right.
Wait,
Is it all right if I just roll both attack or both damage rolls as one big attack?
go for it. They don't have any resistance to damage. They only had that shadow blend effect, which just was a concealment thing. So they didn't have any like resistance to a certain type of damage. They didn't phase in and out of things. They just had a chance in a dark area to not get hit. So big damage. Oh,
Done.
So yes, that's 73 damage over the course of 2 hits.
So
Okay, so the first hit would have done 15 plus 20, so 35, and the other attack would have been whatever the rest of that is, 38.
yeah. Stat block wise, their health is 70. So not only is it dead, but you shocked it for 8 before. So
Huh.
yeah, it's definitely dead.
Lovely.
Man, I am in the wrong plane of existence.
Hey, look, the shadow dust made a Rorschach painting on the wall. What do y'all see?
Death.
So
I saw a unicorn.
although these things don't share as much bloodshed as several of the other places you put bloodshed in, cough cough, the scientist with 1 HP, cough cough the others in this dungeon. There is
Oh,
the
jeez.
corpse that is placed in the center of the 8 metal doors, directly in the hallway that most of your party steps in. Just at a glance, like taking a little bit of time going through it, you do find that there were several things still placed on it. Which I'm going to say and then copy it into the chat.
Yeah, and also for the next minute, even though we're out of combat, y'all have haste for 1 minute.
So if you want, we could actually try to go through most of this with the haste still activated. But let me at least say what you find in the on that body. Once you take a look, you find a numbing to clash, a knife fiber net, an ultra capacity battery, and a cred stick with 290 credits on it currently, and it's pasted on the roll 20 as well. So although that isn't placed on any of the bodies because they were formed of shadow plane material, you do find that. And then out of character, as you see, that there are doors at the end of like each hallway place that you want to go. So it's just a matter of which one you want to do and who's going where.
I
Okay.
stay right here, planted, checking to see if anybody's gonna get hit by something, so I can intercede.
Yeah, and that helps if you being able to just see in all of this darkness. Every, everyone's gonna solo a door. Okay.
Oh, y'all are dumb. Y'all don't do it.
This is the opposite of Scooby Doo.
Well,
All
hey,
right,
remember
let's
what happened
split
with
up.
Scooby Doo.
remember that
Just
trap that I
knows
triggered
like,
last
let's
session?
split up, gang.
That trap last session that ruined my stuff. If we were all
Yeah.
in that room, it would have hit all of us.
Yeah.
Which would have been really awkward because, like, you could just be like, "Hey, the party walked in the one room and now they all died. I guess the campaign's over."
What's in my room, Brandon?
All right. I'm just gonna go down the line then. Starting with E23 and going through them all to E26. All right. E23, give me a perception check. Gunner.
Oh, that's a nat 20 plus 19, so that's a 39.
Has anyone gotten a 40 or above?
Probably Snow. Maybe? Can Snow reach over 40 perception?
Can Snow, what was that one more time? Can Snow do what?
Can Snow hit above a 40 with perception?
No, not perception. She could get a 40 with computers, but that's it. That's with a nat 20. Or is it 22? Right, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. 39.
With your nat 20 for a perception check, the door that's placed in front of you has a key card entrance. There's no light lit underneath of the key card, but when you go to press onto the door, it seems to be locked.
Even with the gray card I have?
Luckily, all of you do have a key card. So as you swipe the gray key card through it, you look into the room. This room appears to look like a maintenance type room with a computer console set on the northeastern wall of the room. When you take a look at it, it looks easily accessible. It doesn't look like it has any firewalls or anything up to it. And several of the options say, and I quote, um, light control, door control, security, security cameras.
Or if it looks like something I could actually use and not have to hack.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's under any like. It doesn't look like it's being monitored or anything like that, where you need to enter a password to use. It looks like it's just good, ready to go right out the box, plug and play.
Alright.
In the room, there is a metal cabinet that you can see placed in the corner of the room, but it appears to look locked. One of which that would need like a key, an actual key, not a key card.
Okay, then I guess I will go to the computer.
Okay, and then place on the computer, as I mentioned, button for lights, button for security cameras, and button for unlocking the doors on the third floor.
I'm gonna hit the light one.
Okay. As you do so, the rest of the party members, as they get to the front of their door before they're even able to slide a key card through it, light illuminates the rest of the hallways, and now everyone can see normally, as if this was dim light.
You're welcome. Kind of how light works. And then I'm going to wait on the doors, but I am gonna check the security cameras.
Okay. I'm going to say as you're checking the security cameras, I'm going to switch
That's
over
fine.
characters. So you'll be viewing it as everyone steps inside.
Mhm.
E24, a toner, give me a perception check.
Oh, there we go. That's not bad. 22.
When you head over to the door, very similar to Gunner's situation, the door appears to be locked with a keycard slot placed in front of it. When you swipe, you have a gray keycard, right?
I think I had a white one. Yeah, I had a white one.
Okay.
I took off the second set of scientists.
I'm not gonna. This is another very specific one. The door to this room can only be opened with a gray or black key card. I'm not gonna hold you to it. I'm just gonna open it.
Oh, we didn't even find black ones.
Yeah, yeah. Different grades for different things. But once you swipe the key card open, I'm gonna say that it opens for you. What at first appears to be a slab of frozen meat stacked in the center of this bare stone room are, upon closer inspection, humanoid bones. The lifeless corpses are piled haphazardly in a heap of bloodless flesh. Their skin, bluish white and marred with frost. Their faces are eternally frozen into masks of terror. This room is the coldest room of them all, as this room feels to be kept at a constant 18 degrees Fahrenheit, which, when you put it together, it's being kept at this to keep the corpses from decaying. When you take another, like, upon further inspection, when you look further into it, some of the faces that you're seeing in this icicle ultimately are faces that you saw when the trap began to animate on the first floor in that room of the people who were in pain.
Toner Heel just kind of like swear under his breath and then make like a quick Veskin prayer and then close the door.
Okay. With that, Gunner, you see all of that. Everything that's happening, you see.
Mhm.
With each
That was boring. Beep.
5 terrible.
Man, these channels suck. I should have gotten Comcast. He chuckles to himself.
I'm gonna make a roll for. I'll have someone else make a roll for Kalani.
What kind of roll? Oh, there we go.
Perception. Okay. All right, cool. That's room 25. This is another one where it's supposed to be a specific key card, but I'm not going to hold you against it. Yeah. So once Kalani begins to open up the doors, this sparse holding cell contains 2 cots and a rusty drain. The cement walls of this stark chamber are stained with various bodily fluids, and the whole area reeks of death. Kalani just goes over, takes a look at both of the bodies, and just, like, after a while, the scent is just that terrible that Kalani says, "Look, this room checks out," and just closes it behind her.
Next. Deep.
Yep.
Now that I know, so a toner and gunner, did they like say everything's okay?
I just said you're welcome when the lights turned on, and then I started going through cameras.
I'm gonna get behind Snow just to be ready if anything happens.
Okay. This one accepts a gray key card. So after you swipe the key card through it, the door slides open. In this room, the shadows of this small cell seem to twist and move of their own volition, and there is a chill in the air. The bed against the northern wall appears to have partially melted into the stone floor. Deep gouges line the cement walls. That is what the both of you are seeing with the perception checks. When Twitch goes in, you see Twitch suddenly just becomes alert. Guns are just at the ready and kind of surveillancing the room. You're getting a sense that Twitch feels like there's like a person or something in this room, or Twitch is being watched, something along that line. Where Twitch just isn't calm after taking a few steps into the room.
Do I see anything through the camera?
When you take a look through the camera, you just see Twitch step in, and you see like the change of a bot going from like a standby mode into like a hostile, like ready to attack mode. But other than that, nothing has changed in the room from what you've seen.
Interesting.
Is anyone else going in? I'm not on the tab, so let me take a look.
I'm
I'll
just
come
staying in
over.
the back, just waiting to see if anything happens.
I'll just go in.
I love just how bold you are.
I've got new armor. I can take anything.
So in this room, directly in the center is a pile of clothes that you happen to see. Excuse me. Did you want to dig through it at all, or just leave it
Yeah, I'll probably dig
as
through it, but
is?
first I'm gonna be like, oh man, Jubilee, I understand why your robot's so scared. In the past life, they must have been a washing machine.
Oh,
Oh,
They start like
Ooh.
going through the clothes. My father was a washing machine.
So when you do walk into the room, you also just have this sense of just like being watched. You look through the camera, you've seen that nothing is in this room, nothing animated, nothing shifted. Even when the lights got flickered on and everything, this room has just been as stable before and after that door was open. But when you walk in, maybe it's just the camera being there. You just feel like this feeling of being watched. You head over to the pile of clothes, and as you kind of just push some of it to the side, placed underneath of it is a black Eclipse key card, as well as a cred stick containing 500 credits and a photo ID of what you would now assume is a deceased employee.
Ooh, free $500 for me.
hey Gunner, what'd you find in there?
A picture of your mom.
Oh,
Dude.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that was the shadow stuff talking. It's
I
not.
I don't remember her, but
She was
yeah,
a very
that's not
lovely
cool.
woman from what we've seen. But also, I found this
Aw.
guy, and I just like show the ID. I also got his executive card, so I guess that means I now held stock in this company. I
Oh,
don't know how businesses work. I mean, maybe there's some information on the computer I found back there. There's also
wait
a
a
cabinet.
minute. I'm gonna walk back to the pile of meat over here.
As I was saying, there's a cabinet over there that we can unlock. Maybe that has some information in it. yeah, I'll head down there with her. It's like, yep, this is what I found: computer and cabinet.
Can I do a mysticism check to figure out what's going on with that weird watchy feely?
Sure. Yeah, give me a mysticism check.
12.
Let me go back to that is E26.
Yeah, that's literally impossible for me to pass. I have no investment in mysticism. I'm
Yeah.
trained in it. I'm trained in it because it's a class thing, but I haven't put a single rank into it, so I have a +0.
Yeah, you walk into the room and you're just like, something about this room just doesn't feel right. Like the stars don't align in this room. Something here is wrong. But you just can never put your thumb on exactly what it is. Just a feeling of being watched.
The
Havoc.
stars are not in position for this tribute today.
Havoc.
The pile of meat.
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna make it sing.
Will you?
Is there an identifiable mouth?
Are you talking about the one where it's frozen, where it's like 17 degrees Fahrenheit? Or are you talking about
I'm looking
the
for any dead
quartz?
person.
Oh,
Yeah.
E24 is full of dead people.
Yeah, E24 is full of dead people, but they're kept in like a below temperature room, and they're in a. Let me see. Does this actually say an icicle?
Oh yeah, and Snow still has that guy's head.
Yeah, I went. I wanted to see the
Just-
pile of meat right over here in E22.
Yeah, and Snow still has that one guy's head that we decapitated a while ago. Oh.
It's probably been too long. It's probably bad by now.
For E22, I'll
next
read
to
the
popsicles.
line. Steel doors yawn open on either side of the hallway, and a heap of flesh and bone, savage beyond recognition, sprawls on the floor.
Okay, so that's probably
that
not
one
gonna
is-
work. So that's a bit of a crapshoot.
That one's a no-go. E24, what at first appears to be slabs of frozen meat stacked in the center of this bare stone room are, upon closer inspection, humanoid bodies. The lifeless corpses are piled haphazardly in a heap of bloodless flesh, their skins bluish white and marred with frost. Their faces are eternally frozen into masks of terror.
What the fuck is happening here? I hate this place. I like peek my head out of like the hallway, just like, hey Snow, I hate this place.
Down the hallway. Hey, Snow, I hate it here.
Hey Snow, I hate it here. There are human popsicles everywhere.
You told me it was Disney World.
Told me it was Disney World.
Dad, I hate going to work day if you're dad. I just want to go home.
Take your kid to work day.
Hello, Atoner. I've been waiting for you.
No, it's just kill me later.
Later.
Oh, God.
I was quoting Team Fortress 2. I don't know what you're quoting.
Slice me up like one of your war criminals.
Y'all are weird.
After 9 o'clock, things get weird.
I hate it here.
I hate it here.
I hate it here. All right.
I'm in danger.
Is this gonna be like a party huddle up at E23 near that? Sure. Yeah, you attach it to the rifle with no problem, easy peasy. I'm not gonna have time be wasted on it. You are definitely capable and smart enough to have it on there where it works and is functional with an easy like on off button. Um, Beyond that, though, there is the metal cabinet in the room, which would require a engineering check if you do not have the key.
It's getting a little cramped in here.
Give me that engineering check. That's a success. As you pop the lock open, you look into the metal cabinet. This everything here looks to be folded up as if this was gear that may have been confiscated from a like prisoner, maybe to give back to them if as you've seen through different parts here, like people have been experimented on, bunnies have been experimented on. This looks like if someone was to make it beyond those tests and they were to release them, they had it folded up and in place here. It's actually probably the most nicest thing of this whole dungeon, and the way it's presented. But inside, and I will copy and paste this also, is a suit of Lashunta Mind Mail 2, Yuzaki Refractor Suit, a Yellow Star Plasma Doshko, and a two high capacity batteries. And I will copy paste it as well.
Saki refractory suit?
I think one of them is in the module that I'm running. Oh,
Color me intrigued.
okay, it didn't copy what I wanted to copy. 1 second. These were confiscated from a prisoner. But out of all the like odd things that they've done with this whole dungeon, with some people enjoying pleasure and things like this is the only like uniform-esque, nice attire thing in this whole dungeon. At least currently from what you've seen. I can post them in a second because
Actually, I think I actually have something better. I think I'm already wearing something better, yeah.
yes.
I'll take one of those back.
The Yellow Star Plasma Doshko is a level 10 item that hits for 2d10 electricity and fire damage.
Is that a melee or a gun?
Let me see. The
It's a
plasma
melee.
version-
It's that weird
a-
triple axe thing that Vesk use.
Hmm.
Ah.
So
okay.
kind of like on the cover of the right? It's the one on the cover of the core rule book, like that kind of
Yeah.
axe.
Yeah.
A toner, that's right up your alley.
Yeah, but my solar sword already does 4d6 and plus it's two-handed. Although it may be nice to have a weapon that actually targets EAC instead of KAC.
This is a powered weapon, so it does have a capacity of 20 and a usage of 2.
Yeah, but if I run into something that's like completely resistant to like slashing, at least then I'd have another damage option.
I think it's only like +7 and +8.
Got it. Right.
Yeah, the Isaki refractor suit is only +7, and I already have something that's +12 and +13.
All right, got my one high capacity battery.
Oh yeah.
Everything else is for everybody else.
Okay, I'll take the second battery. And I guess I can take the Doshko if no one else wants the Doshko.
I don't use melee, so yeah.
High capacity is 40, right?
Yes, is the mid one.
Wow, that thing can't even take a high capacity battery. I have 2 standards.
I got plenty of standards and 2 supers, but I don't think I have anything can take a super.
Yeah, and that actually works out because my jetpack uses high capacity. So I can use all my high capacity for the jetpack and then use my 2 regulars for the Doshko.
Yeah, she needs that. I really don't need the reflector suit. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. So yeah, that's explored pretty much every room on this floor is explored at this point.
Oh
So
yeah, also I find it weird that it's considered a plasma weapon, but it doesn't deal plasma damage.
yeah, I looked at that earlier too, and I was like,
Unless that's just plasma in general is electric fire. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Okay, I thought plasma was like its own separate category. So when I saw it was electric fire, I was like, that's weird. Why isn't it just plasma?
okay, cool. Okay. Uh, everything on the third floor checks out. You've explored every room. In game wise, you got the room that you're in, the extremely cold room, the room that smells terrible with the bodies, and the one that just gives everyone a bad vibe that steps in it, and the hallway, and the
All
lift.
right, let's jazz out of here.
What do all of you do? Head back? Take this as
mean,
a.
what do we still need to do?
We need to go downstairs. This is on the last floor, right? Okay, I want to be
Oh, I
sure.
thought it was just the three.
Yeah, I'm like, let's keep going down. We don't need to deal with that. When it comes to it, we'll have to get to it. But right now, let's just try and get to what we need to do. Heading down to the 4th floor. Gonna get us a drink.
For whatever reason, I can't put Twitch behind snow. For whatever reason, not sure, but okay. All of you head over towards the lift.
Yep.
Okay. So on the lift, as I mentioned, there was a lever that will let you go up and go downwards. When you step onto the lift, now possessing the black key card itself and a part of the lift glow a like luminescent Tron bluish color, now illuminating a 4th floor that Captain Snow was aware of that existed, but it didn't show a way of how to get to it. It looks like having this key is what needed to be secured to make that happen.
VIP access, baby.
So now that that is acquired and the 4th floor is accessible, do you want to go there? Would you like to check any of the other floors out again? Or
Nah. You mean I have access?
I like this ego you're developing. I don't miss. Now
I don't
I have
miss. I
access.
can't be hurt, and this is my key card.
Hmm.
Okay, so in that case, I'm just gonna if I hit, I'm just gonna hit reveal area, and I'm just gonna reveal everything in that case.
Whee!
Okay, everything should be seen now.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you take the lift all the way down to the 4th floor. One, two, three, four. I'm with Havoc's P. Go to my tab that has the module there. When you head over to the 4th floor, this floor opens up to what looks to just be like a large chamber type area. Once it locks onto the floor that you're on. I believe it's touching E28, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So once it locks onto the 4th floor piece, and it's enough where you could walk off the platform. This room is carved out of twinkling ice. A transparent rectangle set into the floor offers a glimpse of the level below, showing a muddle of wires and tubes that appears to be a small section of an immense machine. To the east, the chamber opens onto a balcony that looks out into a deep crevice. Freezing wind whips through the area, howling like the cries of a wounded animal. So that is what all of you see.
Cozy.
The room itself is set at a constant 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And if anyone isn't equipped with things to keep them warm, that could play an effect going forward.
Man, I'm sweating.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. What's it called? I imagine freebooter armor has like stereotypic like armor and then like an overcoat or something, because that's what it looks like in the book. It doesn't expressly say any resistances though.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
there's like a whole like armor upgrade they have to install. It's for making you comfortable in either the heat or cold.
Gotcha.
So although you don't really give like a heat signature, you are feeling the significant changes in weather here.
And I'm a lizard man.
I'm dead.
I mean, I can activate Corona and set myself on fire, but I have to do that every 6 seconds, or else it turns off because we're not in combat. Uses an action. Yeah, it lasts for 1 round unless I'm photon attuned, then it just lasts until I leave attunement, but I can only enter attunement during combat, so.
Fight me. No.
All right, let's
I
go.
just need one of you to punch me in the back of the head every 10 seconds, so I'm technically in combat. But each time you do it, you'll take 2d6 electric damage plus like another 2d whatever fire damage.
Only if it's melee.
As I guess as all of you begin to step off this platform, are you trying to head towards out of character 829, or are you trying to head towards 830 first?
I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna be monitoring the hall down E30.
What was an E30 again?
We don't know.
Haven't gotten to it yet. Both doors here seem to be locked, but with having the black key card, you just swipe it under both of or underneath both of the doors, and they both slide open. The room that's directly in front of Captain Snow appears to look like a maintenance room, similar to what the other floors have had. A computer console set up on the wall that, when you walk over to it, looks to secure like a light control, doors, like unlocking doors control, and a security feature. But the security feature for this floor only has the hallway and doesn't have what's in 830. There doesn't appear to be a camera that exists in that room. Looking through the hallway before the rest of your party even goes towards anything, you just see a cloud of darkness set at the far end. Yeah, when you looked at the security cameras too, it said that each one had like a letter and number, kind of signifying what room they are. I'm gonna say it matches up with the book. So like when you looked at it, you're like, oh, this is E29. Kalani goes to step off. Kalani goes to step off the platform, and since Kalani has mysticism, I want to make a mysticism check looking at the machine that's placed directly underneath all of you that you can kind of get a glimpse of. With a 19 plus her mysticism, let's see. She says to all of you before you advance forward, whatever machine that there is down there, I'm getting a magical reading off of it. It looks like it's pretty powerful on the magical scale.
Needs to be shut down as the cause of.
We need to be cautious moving forward. And before she realizes it, this like metal plating with a sheet of ice on top of it kind of lands and falls onto her. She just goes, "Ow!" And then kind of just pulls out some medicinal things and patches it on her arm and says, "I'm sorry. You can all go ahead."
Okay.
Okay. Once the doors open, again, black key card slides open. Once the doors open, everything up to right here you can see is the hallway. Again, this place just looks to be made of a combination of steel and ice. Imagine like a Fortress of Solitude DC kind of environment. That's what you're picking up in this whole fourth floor. The core of Verces with snow and ice. When you head towards this direction, on that exact space right here, a cloud of darkness is set, and even as Havoc looks towards it, once Havoc is in line of sight, even Havoc cannot see what lies beyond it.
Mm. I am staying right next to everybody. Because I do not like this.
Okay, motion detection badge is activated. Whatever is on the other side of the cloud of darkness doesn't seem to move, at least at this moment. So you're not picking up anything just yet. Is this going to be I guess, the line? It's a 5-foot wide hallway, so I want to make sure I have the line correct. And I'm going to move a toner down 2 squares just so I can secure it.
Yeah.
Do you want Havoc to go second to last? You want Havoc to go last? I might have forgot that.
I'm not gonna do Kalani dirty. I'm not gonna do that. I'll be last.
Last? Okay.
Against my better judgment.
Why do people keep doing that?
Give me a perception check. Just Havoc.
Huh?
Since you're at the end of the line.
I'm the caboose. I'm the caboose of this train. Okay, that's a 21. Wait, let me see. My perception's +3, right? Perception. Yeah, that's just a 21. Gotcha.
Okay. I'm gonna hold on to that 21. I'm gonna put it in the roll 20. It'll play a part in this.
Probably doesn't even do anything.
Well, we'll see.
Afraid.
Like having people on the edge of their seats for certain things.
Mm.
A toner is at the front, so a toner, give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, where you're placed at currently, there seems to be a set of stairs. The stairs itself look to be made of a similar material that is on Gunner's newly equipped armor. That type of steel is looks to be the same material. It begins to ascend upward, and that is where this giant that is where this foggy curtain of clouds is dispersed. That as you step in the front, and I'll even say you have like a flashlight in your hand, the flashlight isn't strong enough to perceive through it. You still would not be able to, like, you place your arm into it, you still would not be able to see your arm.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
I have a question for you. Are we about to fight a Dark Souls boss?
It's the Capra Demon.
uh,
A tiny room.
it does sound like I described that, didn't I? Yeah, let's go with that.
Depends. Is it black or white smoke?
uh, let's go with the theme of like horror and like things that scared me in games. So let's go with White Smoke.
Oh yeah, that's Dark Souls.
This is indeed Dark Souls.
Good thing we can have up to 7 partners.
I can do
Well-
anything if you go in there.
Anything's possible.
It's either Dark Souls or it's Bloodborne, but with the White Smoke.
You know, that's the thing. I don't think Bloodborne had any of that.
I think it was just
Could have
you
sworn it
instantly-
did.
It did if you
Let me
died.
go.
If you
I mean, if you
would-
died, it would
first
appear. But
time you
when
entered
the
a
bottle
boss, it would
first
be
started, it would just be an open thing, and it would happen randomly. That's what I liked about it. It was never obvious when a boss battle came up.
Yeah, their first time entering the arena, there would be no gate, but then
But then if you died, there would be
yeah.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, Toner will first turn back to warn everyone, like, watch your step. We got stairs.
Oh no, stairs. What will our drone do?
It's a DC 40 save to not fucking die and fall down the stairs.
It's just a hidden temple trap.
It's just like you fall and you do like the Family Guy death pose and you die.
So I guess the Toner will go up the stairs, and then if he bursts into flames, will that help with visibility at all? You know what?
So-
I might as well try it just to see if anything. Yeah, he'll activate his Chrono ability just to see if anything happens.
Okay. You see a Toner just says like, all right, I need someone to hit me really quick.
Oh,
I'll use
need someone to hit.
kinetic projectile.
He doesn't need someone to do it just to do it. It's if,
Okay.
yeah, you can use your stellar abilities at any time. You just can't attune unless you're in combat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so this ability, it'll only last for one quote unquote round, so only 6 seconds of him being on fire. It doesn't hurt him, only people that hit him or stand next to him.
Gunner,
Okay.
No.
So-
Toner, do you need a hug?
As
Do
you
you
are
want to take 5 fire damage?
I'll say embodied in flames because I think that sounds cool for Corona. As you're like embodied in flames, you step forward into this foggy curtain of darkness directly in front of you. You continue to walk forward a little bit. You still cannot see what's in front of you, and when you take a look back, you do not see any party members. This voice can subtly be heard in your head that says, although your leader may have lost faith in you, I feel you would have proved to be a great ally to have. So I've made one of you myself.
So what?
This is what you
So
hear.
this is the Toner Terminator that you foreshadowed by accident all those sessions ago. When he was like, "Oh yeah, we fought the Toner Terminator last session." We fought what?
Yeah. I I was brainstorming stuff and I was like, "Ooh, I revealed too much." Yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah, you hear that in your head, but you still can't see directly what's in front of you. And I'll say with that happening, the rest of the party let you walk forward 5 feet, and once your whole body was surrounded in this cloud of darkness, they couldn't see you either. And you hear all that within 6 seconds. So you can head backwards, or you could head forwards, or yep, and you still got the same thing, and your motion detection badge still didn't pick up anything other than a toner moving.
Or am I?
Is everyone gonna follow?
That's my buddy, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'll push forward.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had to get something from laundry.
Oh, you're good. Are you back?
Back
Or
in what sense?
are you going to laundry? I have a lot that I'm gonna read. I'm sure you know this part, but it's a lot.
I mean, if you want to just paraphrase it, that's fine.
Okay. I guess I'll read it. If you have to go, you can go.
No,
I'll just read
I've
it
got
again.
everything taken care of. I'm back at my computer.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So as all of you continue to walk forward, you get to E30, and as you kind of imagine, something's about to pop off. A metal platform built into the ice rises 15 feet high to the west, a ladder leading up to it. A control panel built into the machinery beneath the platform houses a complex set of buttons and switches. Above, a huge screen occupies most of the wall. A pallid male Verthani in a dark business suit stands on the platform and spreads his arms in welcome. We meet again, he announces. His protruding jet black eyes and crazed grin give his face the appearance of a mask. These are my associates. He gestures to two. Um, he gestures to indicate two muscular female Verthani standing next to a duplicate of a toner, with each on either side of him. The armor of everything else I'm going to explain is going to be the two allies next to Terminator, a toner. Their armor is cut to expose parts of their scarred flesh. Burns on their chests form the shape of humanoid skulls with chains strung through the eye sockets. Their faces are mangled by ritual scarification, and piercings through the bridge of their nose, cheeks, and foreheads stretch their skin to reveal open wounds. A blade is grated to each Verthani's left arm at the elbow. I used to believe that poverty was the scourge of the galaxy, that overcoming it would create better worlds for everyone. Dr. Grant showed me the truth. I now know that pain is the real enemy. Pain is a plague that preys on both the rich and poor. Um, he indicates the screen behind him, images of amputees, starving children, wounded soldiers, and in that wounded soldiers, you see a clip of both a toner and Jubilee. Different scenes, but they kind of flicker on the screen for a second where you could recognize that it's them. And sick, elderly humanoids, punctured and wounds, and you can see a picture of havoc within that, like slices of images on there. Some people may be able to cheat death, but pain is inescapable. It is always with us. Dr. Grant worked for years to eliminate pain, and she failed until her transformation brought back enlightenment and you, and looks over to havoc. The only way to conquer pain is to change our perception of it. This is the gift she has offered to them. Will you accept? And he looks towards Gunner, like in particular. And that's all the big block of text that I had to read.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot. So I was just like, all right, let me make sure everyone's here.
that's a lot. Wow. Wait, so I'll ask after.
I'm gonna copy what's in the module. What's not gonna be included is the parts that I included from a toner being one of the wounded people, from Jubilee, because he doesn't know Snow on a first name basis. being a wounded person, and Havoc, which is the one that he said was gifted with cheating death. So that is everything that was given to me.
Whew. Oh god.
Starting
How
with
did they know about
Or
me?
birthday.
How did they know about me?
So yeah, that is everything that was given to me from the module. Insert the bits and pieces from people's backstories into here because the boss knows about it. As I mentioned, it's
So
mhm,
and then
mhm.
Do we all see this going on?
I do want to point one thing out though. The glimpse that you saw of Toner in his shot, it didn't look like a toner was being worked on per se by like scientists and things like that. It looked like the war just finished. A toner was being patched up from the wounds from the war, and it looked like what you would see at like a normal like medical field, nurses and doctors
Mm-hmm.
A field
displaced
hospital.
there. Some of them looking to be maybe like slightly augmented, but in the scene you can see like a toner being patched up, but like a chip similar to that was placed on some of the allies, like to be placed in the back of their neck, and some of them having these symbols placed on them their arms that was out of sight to a toner, but is in sight from the screenshot that was taken. So where Captain Snow was being worked on by one scientist and like things like that, a toner was just being patched up normally, and there were agents out there keeping an eye on him, just as there were agents out there keeping an eye on Havoc and giving Havoc a second chance at life. He first said it to Gunner and then looks towards the rest of the party and says, "Will you join me? Um, if not, I know everything about you. Isn't that right, Havoc? The upgrades that we placed into you."
What? 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 Ah!
Will you join us? When you said what, he says, "Oh, it looks like the amnesia did its part perfectly."
So is this guy like actually physically here, or is this like a
Yes.
hologram thing?
Yeah, so he's here. There's a bit
Um,
more. I guess I should read that also as well. There's a kind of a bit going on. This area that you're looking into looks a bit of like a fusion between an icy cold cave-like structure with bits of color kind of dripping away. Shadows begin to kind of stick out where you are here a little bit more than they would on the normal plane, if that's not saying too much. Bright colors are a bit dimmed out, and this area that you're currently in is under the spell known as a private sanctum, meaning no matter the level of light, whatever light it is, it creates a darkened area around you, so you would not be able to see anything outside of that curtain of cloud, and no one would be able to see what's inside.
I want to do something that I'd consider to be in character, but I'm a little scared.
I think being scared is perfect for where we are.
I mean, yeah.
Toner also has a response to the guy.
So who's Dr. Gorgant?
I'm sure you will learn.
I'm fairly certain we haven't. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm sure that you will meet her soon enough. It's not one of the names of the seven scientists. I was thinking of actually reflavoring it to go with your backstory, but for right now, since I copied all that text, I'm just gonna leave it as that, and maybe say like AKA this one. But they respond. I'm sure that you will learn soon enough. She would like to see all of you.
Havoc is shaking right now.
And what exactly is this epiphany you were talking about when it comes to her? So she's the mastermind behind all of this. You're sort of her, I assume, left-hand man.
Not only is she my master, but she's the only one that has actually shown me the darkness at the end of the tunnel that everyone is afraid to see. The real truth to all things.
And that's pain is always bad. That's the one thing, it's the worst thing in the world.
Depends on how you perceive it. Um, when all of you take a look, just at the surroundings around you, you see, as I mentioned, two of these like humanoid type creatures with this thing embedded into their left arm that's causing them constant pain. You see what looks to be a toner, but like a I hate to make this comparison, but it's the only one I can really do. You see the equivalent of like a Game and Watch version of a toner where like color itself seems to be sapped out, but he also has like a red eye and has it locked on all of you from where he's located.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, quick, someone got out a hammer or a fireball.
um, they all are just looking at you. This is all, as I mentioned, this is all just a confrontation of just words. They don't seem hostile, but they do look like at the ready. If someone was to even pull out a pistol or try to aim down a sight, they will rush you before you have the chance to do so.
That ain't me. But and he like kind of cracks his neck, like just sort of like rolls his neck and like cracks like, but this will be cathartic as hell.
Um,
So I want to do one thing really, really quickly. Havoc, you gave me a perception check early. You remember?
yeah.
And I said I'll wait for that 21.
Oh, fuck.
When you take a look around the surroundings around you, you begin to feel the pain of all of the murdered victims
Oh, fuck.
that have suffered to all of the procedures prior to yours given that second chance at life. The sounds of the victims that died to the hands of them and the sounds of the victims that died to your party's hands, including Vil. surface back to life, and I need you to make a will save.
Oh no.
Additionally, when you take a look behind you, you spot, since you're the last person in the group, that the only member of your party that did not step through the curtain of fog was Kalani.
Oh. Oh. Make a will save, you said?
Make a will save. Yep, this is the pausing point because again, things can go either way. I think now's it.
Finish
Uh-oh.
thinking.
Oh no!
God. Jesus.
Death 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I'm gonna curl up into a ball and cry now.
Brendan, may I make a suggestion?
Listening.
Since it's a certain person's birthday, can they maybe get a freebie reroll?
No. I actually really want to see where this goes.
Oh, that's asking for a death, but all right. I tried to give you an out. Don't say we didn't give you a chance.
That's fair.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. All right. As you begin to fail the saving throw, as I mentioned, the death of several members just resurfaced. People you are and aren't connected to, their pain, their suffering, begin to resurface up. You kind of, your brain kind of molds to the last thing that Vil saw before the bullet went through her, and the like tears that were at her eyes before Gunner pulled the trigger before she was being captured. You pull it to the moment where Bunmite punched into this object that was like a grenade, and all of the pieces splattered out like a 1,000 piece puzzle.
Jesus.
And you just recall like the memories of just a lot of people's deaths at once. Your reality itself begins to shift, and it makes you feel like you're on death's door at this exact moment. I need you to follow up with a fort save. This is the same exact
Trap.
spell that a toner fell accompanied to. So if you want to see the stat for it, it's posted in the Discord.
Oh fuck, baby.
So
Oh
this
fuck,
is
baby.
You have to make the save now.
Oh fuck, baby.
There is
It's-
no going back.
it's at least 8d12 with half on if you pass. But if you do not make this save, this is going to be dire, literally.
Tell me when. Tell me when. I can't do it.
Whenever you're ready, no pressure.
Just somebody say no.
No.
Somebody...
With us not having dice and seeing you, I don't know if that was a good
or
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
I got really scared because it almost hit 1, but it's like a 19. Oh my god, I'm fucking
Okay.
shaking.
Okay. What's that make a total of?
What fort save you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Ow.
Well, the
Huh.
save itself is a 16, so.
Fort
Yeah.
save? Plus 11, so.
Yeah, you're fine now.
Okay.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna
Yeah.
hurt.
Today on I Shouldn't Be Alive.
Today on I Shouldn't Be
Thematically-
Alive. Oh.
Thematically, your character is going through like the worst situation right now. Just the deaths of all your team allies, the deaths of every person you've encountered and or haven't encountered, just the bodies of flesh that you saw in that ice cubicle room, those sufferings, everyone else, you're just going through that moment. In game, you're gonna take half of 58 points of damage, which I believe is 29
Okay.
points of damage. And just those voices continue to echo out throughout this whole room that you're in. Since it's past 10, I'm going to use this as the stopping point. This is the last of this book. So next session, we're going to go through this combat. You know, if you're successful, everyone's going to level up. So there's going to be that. So I would say make a level up character or a leveled up character as well. So we can maybe just take like a 5-10 minute breather and just talk about our builds. But for this session, that is it. We're going to leave on that close hanger.
All right.
And as I mentioned, Kalani didn't step through just